So I was really surprised by what's on the back cover of this, but we'll get to that. Before I say anything, I just want to clarify that I do not speak for Onyx Path Publishing. Anything in this video is my personal opinion and interpretation of what I see before myself. So with that said and done, let's check this out. So I managed to get my hands on a Curseborne promo pamphlet. Don't ask me how I got it. It involved dark rituals that can only be performed once. This is promotional material that's only meant for retailers and is pretty short at about only 2 pages with a front and back cover. There's not much to say about the front cover. I just need to say that I love it. It has very gothic horror vibes to it, and it seems to be that the male character is a vampire sucking the blood out of a female character. You can kind of see what look like bite marks if we get closer, but that's about it. Let's cover the middle section of this first. This is the Curseborne is section, and it really goes into detail about how Curseborne appear to have a lot of strings attached to being Curseborne, meaning that they're probably monsters and they have some sort of found family that is something that they didn't get to choose. It seems like there's a lot of friction that you might have with your family because they probably suck. Also, it seems like there's something that might be affecting your ability to be yourself. I know in the Dork Tales character creation stream, Daniel mentioned that the primal character types have a curse or damnation that is some sort of creature that can take control of your actions. It's sort of like an internal creature that makes you want to attack people and things like of that nature. Additionally, there is the creepypasta mention here, which if you're familiar with online horror stories, creepypastas are internet horror stories akin to Slender Man, The Backrooms, and Jeff the Killer. You're kind of modern day urban legends. In the second half of the Curseborne is section, we go over what seem to be the lineages in a very quick manner. I know these are the lineages, or at least I think I do, because we have heard of the Hungry and the Primal before, as well as the Outcasts, but the Dead and Sorcerers are relatively new. I think Danielle has mentioned the Sorcerers in a recent character creation video, which I'll put a link to or a name of the channel down below in a subtitle so that you can check it out. But the Sorcerers seem pretty cool. I like that they are addicted to magic and are unable to kick the habit. I like that trope from TV shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or a lot of other like supernatural TV shows. I don't like when sorcerers are just human plus that can do whatever they want. Then we've got the outcasts, who we know are kind of like angels or demons. Primals are shapeshifters and can transform into various different animals. We know the Sphinx are one, the Get of Lyca, and the Hides are also one. Hungry are never satiated when they eat. We believe this is the sort of like vampire-like characters. You could say, I think it's the Botherites in the Onyx Pathcast episode 300 were deemed to be part of the Hungry. And the Dead, I believe the Furies in episode 300 were part of the Dead lineage. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. There's not a lot of information, so I'm trying to piece things as I go. To the top right and bottom left, we have some great text writing that indicates 3 different types of beings, I think. One that talks about necromantic powers to stay ahead of the curse, and one that deals with the body horror of something like shapeshifting, and another that seems to hint at drinking blood of another entity or being. From my perspective, this seems to hint at some of the curse types I mentioned prior. I wonder if the shapeshifting one is about the raptors, as they were a fleeting mention before as possibly bird-like primals. It was in episode 300 of the Onyx Pathcast, so check that out. While we're waiting for Curseborne, please check out the Bloody Boroughs supplement that was created for Trinity Continuum Assassins. It was done by me and several other people on the StoryPath Nexus. Thank you so much, and onwards back to the video. This is something that I think a lot of people have been waiting for. Back cover. Curseborne is a brand new urban horror game from Onyx Path Publishing, coming to Kickstarter in October 2024, and there are special retailer package tiers for it. Now this is something that I don't think anyone else has been talking about, but Curseborne literally has been announced in October, so the Halloween month, which is just awesome. Perfect timing. I wish it was sooner, but that's just me personally because I really like everything that I'm seeing with this so far. Additionally, it makes mention of the various Onyx Path horror game lines that have been previously mentioned: Vampire the Requiem 2E, Changeling Lost 2E, just to sort of tell you about the pedigree of Onyx Path and how you can really trust that they're going to be doing urban horror right here. Now, along with the other, they also mention the other brands that they have because this is for retailers. But lastly, we have a section here that goes into a little bit of detail about what you can expect from Curseborne. Now, this last half, it does say that Curseborne is a standalone core rulebook, which means you don't need another rulebook to run it, that details a shadowy urban setting of mysteries, legends, romance, betrayal. It is the first book in a game line that will have multiple source books, fiction, dice, fashion items, accessories, adventures, and much, much more. Now, for me, this is very interesting. I think speculatively, my own opinion, that multiple source books means we'll see stuff like Trinity, Continuum, and Scion C, which are expanding on the core rule book with maybe new abilities and new rules. If you know anything about Story Path, there are a bunch of rule books online that you can check out. Maybe they'll give you an indication of what we'd see for Curseborne. Now, there is something where they mention fiction, and I don't think they would mention fiction here unless they were planning to maybe sell books, but fiction could be just the fiction that you find in the core rulebook. I really hope this means something along the lines of a novel line, because I would really love that for Onyx Path to do, but that's just my hope. I don't know anything about that. Additionally, we see that there is talk of dice. I assume this means just D10 dice with a symbol on the 10 spot, because this does use StoryPath Ultra's dice system, which is D10 base, and we don't. That's something that I think they've done previously, or at least I've heard of people do previously, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's that. Fashion items might be graphic tees if Onyx Path's previous fashion items are to be used for comparison. I mean, it would be awesome if they decided to do an entire costume line, but I really don't think that Onyx Path Publishing is in the habit of becoming a fashion house with gothic formal wear or anything like that, or your edgy leather trench coats. Accessories could be anything from GM screens to any number of other things. I have no idea what they could be other than the GM screen. Adventures definitely is a term that's used to talk about pre-made adventures for game masters to use to introduce players to the world and things like that. So I'd expect something like a quick start or a jump start that they've used for previous projects. Maybe there's more to it than that as well. I know for a fact that when they do Kickstarters, like what they're doing for At the Gates right now, they keep adding more and more things. So maybe if it does well on Kickstarter, which honestly I feel like this probably will, we'll probably see a lot more. Lastly, what we have here is what's inside the book. It's urban horror role-playing game in a modern world. There are 30 plus character options, which might be the families because there were 30 options in the quiz, and they're divided into different monster types called lineages. Mixed lineages is a thing, but I'm not sure what that means. Does it mean that mixed lineages mean that some families are mixed lineage, or that only some individuals are mixed lineages? Who knows? Rules do invoke the urban horror genres of creepypasta, paranormal romance, found footage, and urban legends. There's horror magic and modern magic. I assume it's. I don't know what modern magic means, but I can assume it's something like casting spells in urban fantasy novels and things like that. It does use StoryPath Ultra, and I'm really excited for this project because I really wanted to see a urban fantasy game in StoryPath Ultra or StoryPath in general, and this has finally hit us. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you stick around when we can find out more about Curseborne in Onyx PathCon 2024, June 14th, 2024.